All right, well, I guess it's that time of year. I know that Coach Smith will be up here next, and myself, we're awfully excited for the start of a new season. Needless to say, she's been through this a couple more times than I have as a head coach, but I know the expectations that we both have internally are very, very high. Our team right now, you guys will meet a couple of our players, Jordan Swing, Terrence Jones, Rob Williams, and the nice part, one of the great things that I have is when Aaron asked me which players we want to have come up here, and he said, we want to have some guys that are well-spoken, that are, been around a couple years, juniors and seniors, and that present themselves and present the program the right way. I basically said, look at the roster and pick 3 guys, because we have a group of guys right now that are very, very well-spoken, represent the university the right way. They're doing the right things in the classroom, and through 5 days of practice, they're doing the right things on the court as well. Quickly, I want to get into the hoops on the asphalt. I laugh every time I hear that name, but it's I think it's kind of stuck, and Friday's going to be an awesome, awesome day. I was up on the podium after Garrick McGee's press conference last week, and I told everybody that I was in charge of the weather and nothing else. And the weather is supposed to be nice, and so everything else I've left to the administration, to the marketing department, and my assistant coaches. And so if anything goes wrong, I know who to blame, and it's not me. But we're anxious. It's going to be an event that there's a lot of things going on. And to say that it's going to be a basketball scrimmage would be mismarketing, because it's going to be something that, from dunk contest and shooting contest, having the women's team involved, there's going to be a lot of things going on that makes it a special evening. And I think people will leave there. I've told everybody I want people to leave there wanting more of UAB basketball. So I think it's going to be a quick-hitting, really fun event. But I think the word has been spread. We're going to have a great crowd. All the things that we're doing from our end with the court and the lights and the bleachers and things has been a home run, and we're very, very excited for that. I think, again, Friday night's going to be a night that we're hopeful that it's going to be something we talk about for many years, and be a great kickoff to this season. In terms of the season coming up, it has been fun. There's been one of my players before practice 2 days ago. I saw him when he was taping his ankles, and he said, "Wow, Coach, you've kind of cranked it up on us." And I looked at him and I said, "You bet your rear end I did." And it's that time of year. We've done a lot of good things in the preseason. During the summer, we were able to work with our guys to kind of implement some things. The things that we're implementing now are not brand new to them, again, because we were able to do some things in the preseason. But the intensity, the length of practice, things like that has increased, and the guys have been phenomenal with picking the things up. I've told them it's not going to be easy. I'm going to be very demanding on them. We're going to push both physically and mentally to make sure they pick things up, because it is a brand new system, and it's their job to raise their games and raise their effort and raise their intensity to my level. It's not my job to lower any of my expectations or demands, and they've really stepped up to that. We're going to have practice this afternoon, and then come around tomorrow morning and have practice at 7 a.m. again. But the team is excited, I think, for the style of play. We are going to pressure people defensively. We're going to pressure the basketball. We're going to deny passes, hopefully rebound the basketball well, hopefully turn the ball over, or turn the other team over, so we can get in our secondary break and primary break. We're going to run the basketball and hopefully score quickly. But as I've told the teams many times as well, it doesn't mean we shoot bad shots. We're going to have a system with which we're playing within. The quality of the shots is going to be very important, and the guys seem to have bought in. And I think our guys understand that it's how the team does is more important than how any individual does. And our first thought for the day was, it's amazing what can be accomplished when no one cares who gets the credit. And our team right now believes in that very strongly, and I think they'll believe in that throughout the entire year. That if the team does well, everybody else individually do very well also. So this time, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
How much, I guess, what percentage of your system have you implemented so far in practice? Is it 100% so far?
What percentage of the system do we have implemented? If there's a percentage, it's maybe, in terms of the X's and O's and the nitty-gritty, maybe only 10%. But I will say that 10% is kind of the core of what we're doing. It's our man-to-man defense, and it's our secondary break and primary break. And so while we'll be adding a lot of things throughout the summer, throughout the fall, and these first few days of practice has really been emphasized on the secondary break and the man-to-man defense.
What have you learned about the team now? I know you've had limited practice now, getting in and getting what have you learned about the team now that you didn't know when you were first?
Yeah, we're learning every day, both as individuals and what we can do as a team. It's a much different setting now than it's been in the fall and the spring. You know, we've talked a lot about the toughness element. We've talked a lot about guarding the basketball. We've talked a lot about not turning the basketball over and then rebounding the basketball as well. and each individual has to do their part. And so I'm learning individually what everybody's strengths and weaknesses are, and especially in a setting where we're putting some pressure on them. You know, whether it's fatigue, whether it's mental pressure, we're learning what kind of character they're going to have to fight through adverse situations. And I've been very, very pleased with the overall toughness, and it's something we're going to continue to work on.
You talked about it being a team game and no individual standing out. That's how the success is going to come on your team. How excited are the players to get a chance to shine in the new system? I mean, I know there's a lot of second chances as far as recreating themselves as players. How excited are they to be able to shine?
Well, I'll disagree with one thing you said. You said, you know, team game where, you know, nobody's standing out, and I think right now we have an entire team of guys that are standing out. And you know, one thing with Terrence Jones when he comes up here, if he leads the team in offensive rebounding, well, it'll never happen because he'll come sit with me. You know, his job is to do leadership responsibilities, to pass the basketball, to make shots, and to pressure people defensively. But his job is not to shine on the offensive boards. And everybody on the team needs to know their roles, what they're supposed to be doing, and doing their best. But I think they've all really had a good start to practice, and that's something, you know, obviously that we're going to continue as well.
Coach, your team's challenged by height. To run the fast break, you got to rebound. Unless you got a lot of speed. Are you worried about the rebound?
You can ask any one of those three players when they come up here if I'm concerned about rebounding. The answer is definitely yes. And it's not an attitude that we need to have one guy rebound the basketball and average 12 rebounds a game. It is a gang mentality. It's a team mentality. It's a junkyard dog mentality, but some way, somehow, we got to fight for that rebound. And again, I don't think you can emphasize everything, because if you start emphasizing everything, again, you're probably not emphasizing anything. And so rebounding has been an emphasis. If you ask any one of those players when they come up here about rebounding, they're going to say it's an emphasis for this team, and it's crucial for our success.
What's the biggest change for you? I mean, you're used to getting ready for the season as a player and also an assistant coach, but as a head coach, do you find yourself, what's the biggest thing that you see the difference out there?
You know, the decisions are being made by me. I'm not making recommendations, whether it's in the meetings or on the court. But I also think that I've been very comfortable in the setting, and I think there's a couple reasons for that. One is we did have a JV program at Carolina, and while we didn't get the attention and people in the stands, it was a great environment for me to learn the game of basketball as a head coach. But really, I give a lot of credit to Coach Williams for my comfort level, because for almost 20 years as a player and coach, I've seen how to run a program, and I've always taken mental notes and physical notes about things I want to do if I was ever head coach. But I think watching him for all those years has really enabled me to be prepared, where right now I'm doing my job as opposed to wondering what I'm supposed to do. It's been very, very comfortable for me.
How would you describe your emotions getting ready for your first season as head coach? Nervous, excited, and just...
Yeah, the emotions right now, I would say excitement is probably the biggest one. There's always going to be nerves before games. I mean, as a player, as an assistant coach, and I know I'll have them as a head coach, but if there's one thing, it is excitement. And the nice part, too, is the guys that are on the team right now are high-character kids and give me reason to be excited.
But you got a lot of new guys on this team that never stepped foot in North Carolina before. How are they knowing the team? I know you got a couple of new players that they want to year. How are they fitting into the team and going well in growth?
Yeah, we do have 3 newcomers to the team, but even more than that, we have an entire team that's new. I mean, the entire system, the entire practice schedule, how I'm talking to them, you know, everything we do within the program is different. So in a lot of ways, everybody's a brand new player. Now, in terms of fitting in with the team, the 3 new guys have really done a great job of fitting in, but even more importantly, the guys that have been on the team, the veterans, have welcomed them in. And I think everybody understands, you know, again, for us to reach the goals and dreams that we have, it's going to have to be a team atmosphere, a team element, and that goes well beyond the court. You know, goes to the locker room, goes, you know, when they're hanging out, walking to class together. Those are the kind of things. And when I go back and think of my days as a player, those are the best parts. And it's the bond that I had with my teammates when I was a player is so strong. And I think that's one thing I'm really trying to get them to do is get those bonds. And I had that conversation with one of my players yesterday, is that buying in and getting in with this team and having everybody together, not just on the court but off the court, is really a big part of this.
I hate to ask you a really tough question, but how do you pronounce your big guy?
Faz. Just keep it simple. F-A-Z-Z-Z-Z-Z. That's how I have it in my phone. It's a lot easier. But Faro, and he's again, it's going to be a little bit like my name. It's going to be mispronounced, and and things like that. But in my phone, that's all it is FAZZZ.
Is he more of a post-up player back to the
He is. He's probably more comfortable back to the basket, but with all our 4s and 5s and our front court players, we will ask them to be on the perimeter some and making plays on the perimeter, whether it's reversing the ball, handling the basketball some. But he is comfortable back to the basket, and we'll look to get him the ball inside.
Who's your pick to win the slam dunk this Friday?
My pick to win a slam dunk. I just had knee surgery, so I'm out of it. So I was the dark horse candidate. But full disclosure, I don't even know who we have in it right now. So I would pick Quincy, but I don't know if he can touch the rim. So we'll figure that one out on Friday.
With a lot of guys in the same height range, have you figured out who's playing where, or do you even want to worry about 1 through 5?
Yeah, within the system we do have positions, and for a lot of different reasons. Now some of the positions are going to be doing the same thing, and they're interchangeable. In a lot of ways, our 1, 2, and 3 are interchangeable. Our 4s and 5s are interchangeable, but we will put all the players. I'm trying to put them in different positions, and I mean, a guy like Jordan will come up here. It wouldn't shock me if he saw probably not the 5 spot, but I could see him playing 1 through 4 at some point this year. And we really have a lot of guys that can play multiple positions, and we're lucky to have that. And that's something I look for in recruiting as well, is guys that aren't locked into one spot that can play multiple spots. And we do have a lot of guys that can do that, and we're working on that in practice every day. We've had different teams, the green and the whites, and just getting guys used to playing with each other and different guys every day, but also playing different positions.
So there are going to be times this year when you think your tallest player on the court may only be 6'6"?
I could, if I get up my tippy toes, I think I could be the tallest guy out there at times. But we do have some flexibility. We don't have a ton of depth up front, so we will adjust that. But we'll play small sometimes. But again, that fits into exactly what we're talking about, of pressure defense and running the basketball.
Coach, you obviously come to a situation where some fans question about how the program is going. What do you say to them right now to come out Friday night and be able to come back home with you?
Please, I'm begging. I'll do anything that it is to get the fans out there. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to find a team on the court in Bartow Arena or on road games that plays extremely hard, that's very competitive, that has a fun style of play, that the people will be proud of. The city of Birmingham, the UAB community. I think it's a team that there was a team in 2005 at North Carolina. We won the championship. In 2006, we had a team that had very low expectations nationally and things. And we lost a game to Illinois, and walking off the court, the team got a standing ovation after a home loss. And I'm not saying we're trying to lose a game by any means, but that was a team that the fans were proud to say they're cheering for. And I think hopefully they're going to stand up and give standing ovations after we win. But I do think it's a team that, win, lose, or draw, it's going to be something that people like to see.
Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I did see North Carolina on the schedule for the next 3 years, which I'm sure something you're going to enjoy seeing. But how is it? UAB has a reputation for giving players a chance to go out there and play against the best. That's what the past program did, and how important is it for you and this program to continue with that tradition?
I wonder if Coach Williams got the question. I see UAB's on the schedule this year, but it's for us to have North Carolina schedule is a big deal. There's no doubt about it, and I think that's an appropriate question. And we're to have them in Bartow Arena next year is a big, big thing. But for us to be able to travel up to Chapel Hill is a great deal as well. We are going to play home and away games against the best competition we can find. And this year we came in late in the process, and some of the contracts were already signed, but we already have a big-time schedule this year. And going forward, we're going to have home games next year against North Carolina and Rutgers, and we hope to continue that trend in the future. But UAB, we're going to welcome challenges. We really are, and we're hoping through the work we're doing, through recruiting the future years, that we're going to be able to compete with a high level team, and we're not going to shy away.